Shalom and welcome to Elders of GMS, giving all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Today's topic is entitled The Mark of the Beast Update. Now I know we do a lot of shows on the Mark of the Beast and the chip, but we're at that time where they're going to implement that chip. So, we got to stay on this subject. But before we go into that actual topic, I want to go into something else. I want to deal with some scriptures dealing with being lukewarm, giving diligence, all right? And how the reason why I did this is because you have Israelite groups out there teaching the scriptures. They got their own different camps. Most of them is against us. And the reason why most of them is against us, because we get on them about them going off on the scriptures. So you got some of them that teach that Cornelius was an Edomite, because they're going based upon what they learned at the main school. And that just shows that they're not diligent. That's all that proves, that they're not diligent and they're not checking the man's work, like Ariah, Yaqub, Marshall, because they didn't have the full truth. They had most of the truth. So now, as time went on, new things come to you, and you get deeper into these scriptures. You got this guy, General Yohana, which they call him Iguana, Gay Hana, Gay High Nuts, all kind of names. He's really looking like a damn fool, man. And them young brothers, out of the different GMS camps, they're like a terror to this guy. He's going to wind up closing that show, or he's going to wind up not having any phone calls. Because what I understand, which I never watched the radio show, never got into that, the show would be like 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever the case may be, and pretty much from the opening of the show, people would call in. But now, from what I understand, it's the last, I think, 7 minutes of the show. So he does his rant for like 3 hours or whatever. The last 7 minutes, 8 minutes, he'll let calls in. And the reason why he's doing that, because he doesn't want to get bombarded by brothers out there in the different state camps down with GMS. Because at one time they would call, and first of all, he would ask for the slave name. What's concern is that? No, that sounds like somebody that's working for the government. When they ask your slave name, they're trying to extract information from your ass. I'm surprised he ain't asked for your social security number. But anyway, they would call and they would ask questions, and he would say, "Well, are you down with GMS?" And there'd be a whole back and forth with that. So now these guys come out and say, "My name is so-and-so, I'm down with GMS." So that's out the way. So he can't go into that thing, "Well, I've been playing chess since I was 10 years old. You can't pull." Well, you know what? They ain't trying to pull a fast one on you. Because now when they call, they say they're down with GMS. Now the brother from Seattle, I forget the brother's name. I know it on the back. Yatab. All right. Now, basically, he explained the whole thing because Johanna said that he started the whole thing. And the brother said he didn't start this whole thing. He said the Most High started this thing. He said, "I called you on one of your shows," and this goes back maybe 2 years ago. I think it was 2010. And I think I saw that show maybe 6 months later. I don't know. I was like going through different videos, and I saw that show, and it said The Mark of the Beast. This had to be maybe mid-2010. So I said, let me listen to the show. And it was Johanna going. And I figured that Johanna was going to say, well, it was a chip, this, that, and the other. I said, oh, he knows too. That's good. So when this brother called and about the chip, he went into this whole big rant that it's not the chip, it's Christianity, it's an embargo, it's this, it's that, it's anything but the chip. And he said that the brother was small in the Bible. So when I saw that, I said, wait a minute, man. I said, this guy, Yohanan sold out, man. And then I didn't think about it for a while, but when we would speak, his name would kind of come up and we would kind of curse him out. Because it would go back to that particular video entitled I think it's part 1, part 2, the Mark of the Beast, from the ISUPK. So it started getting out. I guess Johanna been watching our video saying, why this nigga talking about me like that, man? I thought we were supposed to be cool. The reason why I was talking like that to you or at you was because you sold out. So then it came to a point where you brought my name out. I brought your name out, back and forth, back and forth. So now these guys are calling your ass because guess what? Everybody in GMS done woke up to you, right? Yep. Now I'm gonna say this here, you brothers in GMS, you better get your act in gear, man. You know, you got one. I saw this one person with GMS in the front of his name. I think he's out of L.A. talking about he was talking about this guy Bun Lawyer and Priest Danya Allah, saying that they're men of the Lord too. Well, they ain't men of the Lord if they teaching that Cornelius is an Edomite. Right. All right? I mean, if they come to our camp and we see them, I'll say shalom, I'll be happy to see them, but I'll confront them about that thing about Cornelius. Because that's something that was supposed to be taken care of years back. Because if you're teaching that Cornelius, you can't say that you're a man of the Lord if you keep teaching that Cornelius is an Edomite. You got to teach Cornelius as an Israelite. You can't teach anything else. And now you got to get everything, you got to be perfect, man. You got to be perfect in this truth. And this other dude, he's down with Zabak. He had went down to D.C. with his family down there. And he said, you know, it's all about Israel coming together, no divisions. And the scriptures tell you about divisions. The Lord speak about divisions. And he says, as long as you get the basics, that you know you're an Israelite, the white man. No. You got to learn the whole thing, man. The scriptures speak of that you may grow thereby. You're supposed to grow in this thing. You ain't supposed to stay. That's why we call you guys out there 1992 Israelites, because you're basing your teaching off of what you learned in 1992. 1992, 2002, 2012, that's 20 years. You were supposed to progress. You know? You got, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, this is concerning the Cornelius matter. This is 1 John 2:21. It says, I have not written unto you because ye know not the truth, but because ye know it, and that no lie is of the truth. So basically, if you're saying that Cornelius is an Edomite, you're lying, and you're not teaching the truth. All right, so that scripture clearly explains it. You know, Cornelius is an Israelite, all right?
Yeah, if they were deep in the scriptures and the Most High was dealing with you, you would see that.
Yeah, that's right.
But the reason why you're not seeing it because you're full of pride. It's just like you take a journey and you get a map. You make a right turn at the first light, then you make a left turn at the second light, then you make another right turn, you go 3 lights up, you take another right turn, then you take another right turn at the next block. Then you can have maybe 50 different turns to get to your destination, right? Let's say it's off by 1 turn. At turn 39, let's say you make the wrong turn. Are you going to get to your destination? Hell no, you're going to be way off. Just because of one wrong turn. So going off on one scripture, what? That shows you that the Lord is not dealing with you. All right?
Yeah, I got one more scripture. This is the book of Matthew 5:48. Now, Elder Tahar mentioned about perfection. Is it in the scriptures? Yes, it is. Matthew 5:48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Now, these are the words of Yahweh Shai. This is what he said. So we're all supposed to strive for perfection in this truth. All right? The scripture also speaks about striving for the mastery. The mastery of what? Of speaking the pure truth.
Right, and there's a scripture in Revelation 3, verse 16, but we're going to read Revelation 2, the whole chapter, and Revelation 3, because that goes into perfection. You can do everything right and be off on one point. And we're going to read it. We're going to let the scriptures speak, all right? Go ahead.
This is our 1 Thessalonians 5:21. Prove all things, hold fast to that which is good.
Yeah, now you might jump up and say, well, prove